Plaintiff Kashania Story says the defendant is her uncle, and she's here today seeking an intervention to save his life. Kashania claims the defendant has been addicted to crack cocaine for over 30 years, and she's desperate to get him some help. She's also suing him for breach of contract. Defendant Blaine Story admits he's addicted to crack cocaine and says he tried going to rehab twice, but nothing stuck. However, Blaine says he's finally ready to change his ways and kick his drug habit.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, I'm here today, Your Honor, asking and seeking your intervention in helping me and my family save my uncle's life. I love my uncle. He has the potential to be a really, really great man. He's a father, he's a grandfather, he's a brother, he's an uncle, and he's my grandmother's youngest child. And my uncle battles with an addiction, and he has for over 30 years.
What type?
It's a crack cocaine addiction.
He lying to y'all.
That's what it is.
No more crack. You can't find no crack. You go out there and try to find some crack and see what happens. They give you fentanyl, Percocet all day. You think you got you some crack. And no more crack. You on crack? You the last holdout if you are.
Yes, that's what they call it now, but yes, sir.
You shouldn't be shamed to use crack. You should be shamed that you're the only one left. Who uses crack? Where do you even get crack from? That's why I tease people all the time and hear about crack, because most folks aren't on crack anymore. They're on opioids. You don't hear me tease as much about that because that is so serious right now. It's an epidemic in our society. The crack is no longer an epidemic. It's an addiction on one. If that's true, go ahead. He's been addicted to crack for 30 years. I know folks who've been addicted for decades as well. Go ahead.
Yes, again, he does have the potential to be a really great man. My grandmother loved him tremendously. He is the youngest of her 4 children.
What type of heart does he have for others?
My uncle is a good man. It's when he gets on those drugs that he becomes unpredictable. He comes up missing for a couple of days. And as a family, we just want to see him in a better place. He has so much to live for and so much to give to us as a family, you know. We are a small family. We're very close-knit. My grandma purchased the home.
You ever been to rehab?
He has been to rehab
How many
before.
times?
Maybe a couple of times.
How did that happen?
He sought it out.
Somebody forced him to.
He sought it out on both occasions, I do believe, but of course the family was saying this is something you need to do.
How long ago was the last time?
Oh my God, you would have to ask him, but I want to say probably over 10 years.
Let me get some background from you, sir.
Yes, sir. And you're so right. I am addicted to crack cocaine. It's been over 20, 25 years since the last time I went to rehab. And it's something
you don't have congestive heart failure yet? You haven't smoked your heart away?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Many of your comrades have, no doubt.
Yeah, right.
Right. I know the consequences.
But
go ahead.
That is something I definitely need to get off for, and I do want to get off for.
How many times have you gone in the 25 years, sir?
How many times?
Before we get to the sob story, how many times have you been to rehab in 25 years of addiction? The sob story ain't nothing for me, sir.
Twice,
and heard this 1,000 times. What have you tried before you come in here with all this? I've been on drugs, but I can't help myself because it's a disease. Before you do all that, tell me how many times you went into rehab for this disease.
Twice.
Voluntarily, twice.
Twice, sir.
All right, and how long was the last time?
Last time I stayed off drugs for a year.
How long ago was your last stay in rehab?
I'll say about over 20, 25 years. Sir.
Right, so you haven't been interested in getting clean for 25 years. Sir, you've went to rehab twice, and the last time was 25 years. You don't care about your family or yourself. I'm not about to listen to your sob story. Only story I'm going to listen to is that you're ready to go to rehab when you walk out this door. How about that?
Yes, sir.
And to NA twice a day. Every day. Are you working?
No, sir.
So you don't have nothing else to do. So you can go to rehab for 90 days, twice a day, NA, for 6 months to a year, once a day for another 6 months to a year, twice a week, 3 times a week perhaps, for another year, 2 times a week for another year, and you might be able to survive for another 10 until you've transitioned. I've seen it, sir. I got more experience at crack than you, and you've been smoking for 25 years. You've seen 300 crackheads, I've seen 1,000. You know how 300 operate, I've learned how they operate from 1,000. So my point is, sir, I know what works. I've helped many people get in. And first of all, you gotta have more than 30 days. 30 days is just enough time to come out and get you a fresh high. I know people go in. Right. I know people used to go in for 30 days just to get clean and come out and get that high back, because after you use it so long, you don't even get high off of it no more. Right. So you take a break. I'm gonna go to rehab, get me 30 days in, then I can come out and it'll be like I'm high again. How many times have you gone in the 25 years, sir?
How many times?
Before we get to the sob story, yeah, how many times have you been to rehab in 25 years of addiction? Before you come in here with all this, I've been on drugs, but I can't help myself, because this is the disease. Before you do all that, tell me how many times you went into rehab for this disease.
Twice.
Voluntarily, twice.
Twice.
Defendant Blaine Story is being sued by his niece, who claims Blaine has been addicted to crack cocaine for over 30 years.
I know all of that. I know how all of that goes, and the only ones I've ever seen work out of the dozens of people I've helped to get into rehab, out of the hundreds that come through the Mathis Community Center right now in Detroit twice a week, hundreds we hold NA meetings, I have been able to observe what works. And what works subsequent to at least 90 days in rehab, folks listening, for your family members and others, 90 days in rehab, then you got to start out at least twice a day at NA. If you're working, go at 7 a.m. and then go back at 8 p.m. when you get off. Whatever you have to do, that's what's necessary to recover, sir. So that 25 year ago, whatever it was, that was to get a fresh high, ma'am. Because he ain't been back in 25 years. Hopefully, things I'm saying to him now are running back. And he's already agreed to go to inpatient rehab through us, right?
Yes.
And on that, I'm gonna check in tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll check you. Give me a couple of days to get my things together. You ain't got no things. Yeah. So you done smoked all your things away. All right, ma'am. And so we've come a long way today so far, I hope. And
yes.
I believe in him. I believe he's going to keep trying. I believe he wants to. Many people who try twice, they give up. But, sir, I've seen on average, and I hate to tell these statistics because I'm not going to give you an out. So I'm just going to tell you, I've seen people that take multiple times before they're clean. But I'm not going to tell you how many on average, because that's what you'll be trying to buy. No, sir, you ain't using me for the crackhead conversation. No, sir.
I'm not doing it.
All right, so I'm not going to tell you how long it's going to take you. You just stay in there, all right?
All right, sir.
All right, thank you, God. Thank you. And no disrespect, but I ain't too far behind you in age, so I can talk to you like this. I used to couldn't talk to folks like this. I started, we were how old, 39? Yeah. When I started, I couldn't talk to folks at 65 like this, but I'm your age now, I talk to you.
Yeah, good.
You can't say, young man, don't you disrespect me. I'm your elder. No, you ain't. We're the same age. You're my peer. All right. And tell me what we're here for, though. What happened?
So my grandmother passed in November, his mother, my grandmother, in November. He's lived with my grandmother most of his life, off and on intermittently, and pretty much rent-free. So once grandma died, there's still an outstanding mortgage. I had a family member come in that assumed paying the mortgage every month to me.
How long after?
My family member moved in March, and the arrangement with my uncle, talking with my aunt and my other uncle, myself and my cousin, Blaine, what is it that you can afford to pay every month towards the household utilities, since my cousin is picking up the mortgage? Blaine, I know he gets Social Security, but I don't know, Your Honor, how much he gets every month. And if
What
you
difference do it make?
If you can take that card, it's gonna make a world of difference. How about that? Okay? Give the card to his daughter. That's what I'm saying. If he doesn't, and he'll tell you this, if he doesn't have that money, he doesn't come up missing. And he's just weak and helpless when he has money on the card.
The reason I say what does it have to do with it, because he can have $1,000 a day from Social Security. It's all gonna be smoked up. So that's my point. So I know he gets a little money for that, and a little money. The amount he gets doesn't matter.
You need to
It's all going
mandate
the
taking
same
that
place.
card. Take the card from him. Take the
Take
card.
his card from him. Can I order that? I'm gonna have the law clerk look that up. All right.
And as a result, going back to the agreement, Blaine said that I can pay, the household bills fluctuate anywhere between $400 and $500 every month. Blaine said I can give at least a $400, okay? That was back in the month of March, April. Well, Blaine has only given $400 one time, and it was really to pay his brother back for the month that he missed before. So here we are with June, July, August, and September, and my uncle has failed to pay.
I've seen people that take multiple times before they're clean, but I'm not gonna tell you how many on average, because that's what you'll be trying to buy. No, sir, you ain't using me for the crackhead conversation. No, sir.
I'm not doing it.
All right, so I'm not gonna tell you how long it's gonna take you. You just stay in there, all right?
Right.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Defendant Blaine Story is being sued by his niece, who claims Blaine has been addicted to crack cocaine for over 30 years.
Who is the executor of the estate?
So what happened prior to my grandmother's death is that my name got added to her deed with rights to survivorship. And upon her death, I actually filed the affidavit showing that I am the surviving member. So we bypassed probate just by adding the name onto the deed. And this is a family home. My grandma purchased this home, Judge Mathis, in 1969. She had 4 children and a grandchild. She was uneducated and pulled her family out of the projects. And she taught us all how to work hard.
What city?
Atlanta, the city of Atlanta. Herndon Homes was the projects that we came from. Herndon Home off of Northside Drive in Atlanta.
The insurance executive, was it Herndon?
Yes, it was, absolutely. That's exactly right. So she taught us great work ethics. She taught us perseverance. She taught us hard work and dedication, and things like that can change the dynamics of families.
And let me get background on Herndon Homes. Herndon helped finance the civil rights movement. Herman Russell was another
Yes.
one. Wow. North Carolina Mutual was an insurance company. Yes. And they all financed the movement, so I want to give them their credit.
Yes.
And
Yes.
thank them. Just can't skip over their name with all
your
the
history, Judge Mathis. I'm impressed.
Well, you know, that's what teaches us best about life is history.
Amen. And we can sell this house right now. The numbers are coming back astronomical, but it's not about that. It's about a legacy of her hard work and making sure our family remembers their grandmother, their mother, and all other family members. She actually paved the way for us.
What do you project in terms of people living there in the future?
So in the future,
Because you're not going to sell it, so perhaps when he decides he wants to leave one way or the other, and he's been deciding that he wants to leave for 25, 30 years, at 65, one of them deciding I want to leave smoking with a 65-year-old heart is going to let him leave. So when he leaves voluntarily, hopefully you won't, you know what I'm talking about. When you bust your heart smoking and you're gone, then who you going to put in there?
Well, this is the thing. It could be a family rental property. It could be if anybody is going through something.
You better get that together, because you set yourself up for a bunch of mess. Get you a good plan together and let everybody know that that's the plan. Because if you deal with your relatives one at a time as they come and say, I just need to stay for 2 weeks, come visit. Then you're going to be, Adam say he need the house starting in January. I'll be going in January. February come. Adam say he need the house. He about to be put out the one in Atlanta. Where you gonna get a house up? Give me one more week. Give me one more week. That's what you're about.
Well, honestly,
you're gonna deal with that every year.
Honestly, I would like to live in the main house, and I would like to put some development in the backyard for other people to be able to live and or to rent out.
How big is the property?
It's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, nice size.
In terms of acreage?
It's not less than an acre
3
of land.
lots? At
It's
least
less
that's
than
gonna
an
be
acre of
something
land,
else
but
for people to live in.
this neighborhood, like the backyards are big, so
You
you
gonna
definitely.
put y'all in the shed. She said
I
she's gonna get in the
would.
main
As long
house.
as you
How
got
you gonna? That's
shelter.
all you got room
I mean,
for.
you got
If you don't have
shelter.
any acreage, that's the only place you can put the people is in the shed.
I have
Well, you ain't
plans.
gonna have much problem with that. So I'm sorry, I did all that talking for nothing, because ain't nobody gonna fight you to live in that shed.
Yeah, they will.
So the money he has failed to pay amounts to $1,600.
Yes.
Sir, what do you say?
Sir, Judge, I did agree to pay the $400 a month, and like you said, I did pay the $400. I guess that was in May, and cause of addiction.
Don't you bring that out your mouth.
I mean, just be
Because
honest.
of my
Just don't sit here and tell
addiction.
you the truth, Judge. You just be honest.
I got you,
about
and we
it.
already
That's all.
established that. So you
Okay.
don't have to keep using that, because the more you use it, the more it hurts you.
Yep.
Because all you're reminding me is that you're going to use all the hurt against other people that you have caused, all the financial problems for other people that you have caused, all the heartache and emotional, including your mother, that you have caused. Your only focus is on my little drug habit. It's that fault. I didn't have nothing to do with it. You had everything to do with it. So
Well, I'm
let's
not
talk
blaming
about
on
whether or
anybody.
not I don't need to hear your problems financially as it relates to crack. We already have that established.
Yes, sir.
So why don't you believe you owe? If so, why haven't you paid?
Because what I understand.
You didn't have the money. Don't come with that, because I did it on crack. Just say you didn't have the money. But what reasons do you want to give me?
Well, what I understand, she sued me for the utilities, which I did not agree to pay no utilities. Something they did not come
The
to
only
me,
thing this
and
has to do with is whether you agreed. And so you see why I took that crack excuse away from you? Throw that in again. Let me touch his heart. Let me try to move the heart, because the judge know how it is. Yeah, I know how it is, and I know the excuse game.
like I said, I did pay the $400. I guess that was in May, and cause of addiction.
Don't you bring that out your mouth.
I mean, just be
Because
honest.
of my
Just don't sit here and tell
addiction.
you the truth, Judge. You just be honest.
I got you,
about
and we
it.
already
That's all.
established that. So you don't
Okay.
have to keep using that, because the more you use it, the more it hurts you.
Defendant Blaine Story is being sued by his niece, who claims Blaine has been addicted to crack cocaine for over 30 years.
Why didn't you think you should pay? Because you never agreed. That's what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, he says he never agreed.
Judge Mathis, I do believe there may be an affidavit from a family member attesting to the conversation and him saying that it wasn't about the utilities. Again, the mortgage was $850. Household bills come up to about $1,350. That was including the mortgage.
Sir, do you think you should pay anything to live there?
Yes, sir. I do. I do.
So what do you think you should pay?
I did what I agreed to, the $400 a month, sir. What I agreed to.
$400 a
That's
month for what?
Actually, she just for me to pay $400 a month. I don't know what she was going to use
Okay.
it for or what.
So then why are
And
you
that's-
denying you owe it today?
I'm not.
I know you say you don't owe the utilities. Fine, let's not play word games. Let's go
Okay.
with the 400. She said 400 in utilities. All you're denying is utilities. So let's get to the 400 that you admit, sir.
I do believe I owe that, sir.
1,600?
Yes.
All right, you're in your first step of rehab. That's when you have to be, is honest. That's when somebody is committed to rehab. They become honest with themselves. Otherwise, you're tricking yourself. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's about it, sir.
All right, well, I respect.
Didn't know what I needed to rehab, though. I do know I need that, and I appreciate it very much, sir.
And I respect that. And for you not suffering significant health problems after that long of a run, you're blessed. See you soon. You're gonna come back. We're gonna do our update. As you saw, the judge sent him to rehab and told him to go. He ran as quick as he could. Time he got out the door, and we ain't heard nothing from him since. So that's what people gonna hear. Or they're gonna hear, judge gave him help. It's been a year. He's been clean. He's got his life together. And we're so proud. And all the people over the years that have seen your crack addiction affect you, have seen it affect them, have seen it affect your family, they'll all pray and thank God that you have changed. All right? You can offset 25 years as a crack addiction, 25 years clean. All right?
Right.
All right. That's what you should aspire to. Make it up to your family.
Right.
All right. God bless you.
Judge
Judgment for the
Mathis,
plaintiff.
thank you so
Have a
very
good day.
much.
Thank you.
You know I love you, and I'm so grateful that it took us to get here, to get to a place that we're going to be celebrating our happy lives in the next few months. So thank you, Judge Mathis Show. Thank you, everybody that's here. And to my uncle, we getting ready to celebrate. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. Look at it, it's all in God's hands now, you know.